Would you like to go down? Are we all done? You're so cute. Oh, you're so cute. All right, let's put you down, okay? Good girl. And away she goes. All right, let's do this. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into today's video, let's just address the new addition. I went with my best friend yesterday and we both got holes poked in our noses because that's what you do on a Sunday afternoon when you've got nothing else going on. I have actually wanted this done for quite some time, but never had the nerve to do it until yesterday. We went to an actual piercing place and the girl there was lovely, really helped us out, answered all of our questions, didn't rush us at all, fully explained everything she was doing. So if you're ever in the Barrie, Ontario area and want to get some piercing done, I highly recommend Courtney at Steel and Ink on Bayfield Street because she was fantastic. So now that we've addressed that, let's move on. I'm actually very excited about today's video because it's a collab, and I did say at the end of 2019 that I wanted to do more collabs in 2020. So here we are. In response to that video, I did get a message from Hélène over at HMM Makeup. Be sure to check out her video up here, and it's also going to be linked down below. And she asked if I wanted to collab with her. And of course I said yes, because I really do enjoy Hélène's content, and she's always been very friendly with me, and we just have a nice rapport going on. She is a fellow Canadian, so you know she's going to be awesome. And she's also a professional who is around my age. I think she might be just a little bit older than me, but that's neither here nor there because age is just a number, right? So I really like what she brings to the table because she has this nice calm approach to it, and also because we can relate in the fact that YouTube is our side gig and we do have professional lives as well, and therefore I think we have a little bit of a different approach to makeup than, say, a makeup artist or somebody who is really displaying their makeup on Instagram and making their living that way. There's just different approaches to it. So with all that said, let's talk about what it is that we decided to do in this collaboration. And honestly, I can't remember whose idea it was, but I'm pretty sure it was Hélène's. I'm pretty sure it was. Anyways, it's a great idea whosever it was, but I'm pretty sure it was hers. The idea is to talk about what is in our emergency makeup bag. So for me, I am a lawyer. I work during the day at the office most days. Today's Monday, I'm not there. But there are also functions that happen in the evening. So whether that is continuing professional development or law association meetings, things like that, they don't happen all the time, but when they do happen, I usually go straight from the office to the event. And so I need something with me just to touch up, just to make myself feel a little bit more polished and put together. For Hélène, she is going to talk to you a little bit more about what it is that she does, but she wears a few different hats. She is a kinesiologist and a personal trainer. She's also a business consultant. So, like I said, she wears a few hats, and those require different things as well. So I'm very interested to see what she has prioritized and put into her makeup bag. So I've got mine here. Now keep in mind, this is not my full makeup. This is just if I know I'm going to have to touch up my makeup on the go or whatever the case may be, what are the items that I am grabbing to have with me as my safety net. Now, we did talk about whether or not we were going to rank them, and I believe Hélène's going to do that, but that is far too much effort on my part, and I am not going to do that because frankly, a lot of these things are pretty even across the board. They are definitely things that I want to have with me. They're not necessarily all things that I use at all times, but I will explain them as I go through. So I have all of mine housed in this little makeup bag here. This is from Gucci. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I got it for free at Shoppers Drug Mart as like a sample holder of some sort. Basically, if you're really friendly with the ladies at Shoppers Drug Mart, which it's not hard to be because they're all delightful, they hook you up with the good stuff. So here we are, Exhibit A. So I've got them all housed inside, and we're just going to sort of dig and go through them, and I'm going to show you what I have curated here. So first up, it's going to be makeup wipes. These are kind of dual function. So if I find that it's just been one heck of a long day and I need to start from scratch, I'm going to take it all off, and there are enough staples in this bag for me to sort of rebuild what was lost. Otherwise, say I've had liquid liner on and it's kind of smudged at the end because I put in an 8-hour work day, or my foundation's looking a little suspicious. This is just great to be able to like sort of clear out what needs to be cleared out, maybe take the wings off if they're looking a little funky. If I was wearing a brighter lipstick or liquid lipstick, I can go and remove that completely. Just things like that. I just find that these are really helpful to have on hand. I pretty much never leave the home without elastics. And I usually have two, and you can see that they're different sizes, and that's because this is the fun bun holder, and then all the little scragglies that go around it, I just kind of put this over top of the fun bun and it kind of holds them down and into place. So I like to keep those on hand, and I usually have them stashed away in my purse as well. And then for an additional item, technically I suppose this could be considered one, but these are elastics and these are clips. So we're going to count them as separate. So I usually carry 3 clips with me. I have 3 clips in my hair right now. So I have one right here, I have another one here, and they just hold like the little flyaway tufts of hair that usually stick out over here, kind of holds them a little bit closer to the head. And then I have one at the very back. So I have a lot of like little baby hairs back here, and they get really frizzy. So I just kind of collect them all, twist them, pull them up, and then clip them into place just to keep as much of the like fringe away from my head as possible. And even if I may have started off the day with my hair down, again, you never know, it could be humid, I could have been running around and getting hot and sweaty, and anytime that happens, my hair just continually expands throughout the day, and then I need to rein it in and do something like this, and these are a necessary component with that. An item that I don't always use when I'm touching up or on the go, but something that's really helpful to have on hand when you do need it, Emery board, nail file, whatever the case. I like to have one of these on hand simply because lately, particularly, it seems that when I get like a little tear in my nail, it's always like at the quick and I can't just pull it off. Typically speaking, I don't even cut my nails. They're like baby nails. I can just like rip them off and they're fine. But like I said, just lately, for whatever reason, it seems to be that those little tears are happening too far down, and then it's just really painful. So if I can buff out like the torn edge, then I don't have to hurt myself, and I prefer not being in pain. So Emery board for the win. Now, this probably should have come up right after the makeup wipes because I would only really use this after using makeup wipes. But in the event that I did have to remove my entire face of makeup, I would want a moisturizer. And the one I have here is the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream. It doesn't matter to me, honestly, which one it is, but I like having a sample size jar because it's tiny and small and still has enough product for me to get the job done without having to carry a full-size bottle with me. So I like to have this on hand as well. Another item that I may or may not use, depending on what it is that I'm getting ready for, are false lashes. So these ones are from Huda Beauty. These are the Camille number 16, part of the Easy Lash line. I'll just pop them out of that plastic case so you can see them a little bit better. There. So they look really sort of voluminous and almost overwhelming in the packaging, but these are sort of like a 3/4 length band, so they pop on really easily, and I find that when they are on, they're noticeable without being overpowering. Some full band lashes, I can't get on board with it because it's like, here's my lashes and it's altogether too much. These ones look far more aggressive than they really are. Yes, you can see them, but it's not like the lashes are wearing me I am definitely wearing the lashes. So I really like this style. So then to apply those, I need a lash glue. And to avoid any potential oopsies, I have a clear one. So I do have a black lash glue and I actually really do like it. It's from Revlon, but if it touches down, that black is staying there. It doesn't dry and go to clear or anything like that. You're gonna have a black smudge and it's virtually impossible to remove. So clear. This one is from, I believe it's from Velour Lashes. Yes, it's from Velour Lashes. It's just called Lash Adhesive. There's no other name on the packaging. And it's sort of like it almost looks opalescent. Like when you put it on, there's almost like a little bit of a light bluey purple kind of color, and then it dries down to clear. I like that it has the little wand, so I don't have to worry about like the Duo where it's in a tube. I don't have to worry about it being too much or anything like that. I have total control over it with this. And then again, like I said, it also dries clear, so I don't have to worry about bringing a liquid liner to build up the lash line or anything like that. It's just as simple as fake lashes can be, in my opinion. And I've tried magnetic lashes, and nobody can convince me that those things are easy. Maybe the magnetic liner in lashes, maybe, but actual magnetic lashes is just a whole level of effery that I am just not prepared to deal with. Moving on. Okay, so now we're gonna get into some of the actual makeup products. And so what I have here is a tinted brow gel. So again, typically speaking, I don't really need to touch up my brows, but again, if it's one of those situations where I just need to start fresh, then I like to have the tinted brow gel just to hold everything in place. I have fairly full brows to begin with, so I haven't included like a pencil or a pomade or anything like that. Just a tinted gel is enough for my needs. The rest of the makeup products can really be used whether I'm starting from scratch or whether I'm just touching up. So again, in no particular order, I'm just going to start off with eyeshadow. This one is from Chanel. It is the Multi-Effect Quadra eyeshadow in the shade 352 Elemental. And the reason I picked it, so there's a couple of reasons. So one, it comes with a mirror, so I don't have to worry about adding a mirror as an option as well. But it's also very neutral in terms of the shade selection. And it has, they're not really spongy, they're like way softer than sponge, but it has two of them in there in case I need them. But I like that there is, this one actually applies a bit deeper than it looks in the pan, but you have like a standard sort of taupey brown, there's a pink, and then there's some lighter shades up here as well. So if I just wanted to apply the taupey brown, whether it be under the lash line or run it like over the top of the lash line or even into the crease, I have those options there. And there's nothing in here that's like really difficult to work with. It's very neutral. I don't need to balance it out with a bunch of other colors or anything of that sort. So it's just a really easy grab and go kind of deal. To help with applying that so that I don't have to use those pseudo sponge tip applicators, I just picked one brush. This one is from Refer and it's the number 1. And I'll show you the shape of it up close here. You know, it's going to be easier to see it this way. There we go. And so what I like about it, you can see it's a little bit pinched there, but then it's wider this way. You can see sort of what the width of it is there. But what's nice about this is that it's fluffy enough that I can use it as a blending brush. So if I want to put something into the crease or like blend up towards the brow bone, I can do that. But it's still thin enough that if I want to run something underneath the lash line or on top of the lash line, I can do that as well. It's also got enough flatness to it that if I want to use it as just like an actual shadow brush and just patting it across the lid, I can do that too. So it's a nice multi-function brush so that I don't have to bring a whole selection of brushes with me. Okay, so we may as well stick with the eyes since we're here. So I also grabbed a brown pencil liner. The brand doesn't really matter, but this one happens to be from Makeup Geek, one of their full spectrum liner pencils in the shade Espresso. I don't actually think they make these anymore, but again, it didn't matter what the brand was. I just wanted a brown pencil. I find that brown is easier to work with than black simply because black can be so harsh. But with brown, I can put it in the waterline or I can apply it above on the upper lash line and then just use my finger and smudge it out. I can make it a little bit smoky, make it a bit softer, but it still like adds definition to my eyes. So that's why I wanted to include this one. Lastly, for eyes is mascara. So whether I'm just topping it up or I've taken all my makeup off and want to start fresh, I would grab a little sample-sized mascara, again, just to minimize how much space it takes up. This one happens to be from Pat McGrath. It's the Fetish Eyes mascara, which I actually really do like, but I doubt that I'll ever pay for the full price of it. But it is a nice mascara to have on hand. It doesn't smudge on me and it doesn't flake, so it kind of checks the boxes that I'm looking for. It does add volume, it does sort of lift the curl of my lashes, and I have no issues with this one, so that's why I grabbed it. Moving down below the eyes, concealer. I don't like to leave the house like ever without some amount of concealer on, and over the course of the day it does tend to fade away regardless of what the concealer is. So I would like to definitely touch my concealer up. The one I've got here probably shouldn't come as a shock to anybody because I talk about this one all the time because I love it, and it's from Milani. It's the Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer, and I have it in the shade 125 Light Natural. And what I really like about this, aside from the coverage and the longevity of it, is also just how natural the finish is. And it has a nice little doe foot, so it's really easy to just put precise placement and then blend it out. I like that it's not super radiant. I like that it's not super matte, where it might just look a little bit off depending on what the rest of your face finish is. So if you're wearing a really matte foundation and then you put a super dewy concealer on, it can look a little just off, or vice versa. This one honestly just looks like skin, to be honest. So I really do like this one, and I can blend it out with my fingers. I've been watching a crap ton of Robert Welch's videos, and I love his concealer tips. So I've been trying to do that. I do have rather deep set eyes, so I find it hard to blend like right in here without the assistance of a brush, but pinky fingers will do it. I just kind of have to take my time with it. So I would just use my fingers to blend that out because I really wouldn't need a ton of product. To set it into place, I have another little baby sample of a setting powder. This one is from Cover FX and it's in Translucent Light. It's their Perfecting setting powder. So again, I don't want to carry like my big jar of like Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I just need a little bit if all I'm looking at setting is this area right here. So a little tiny sample goes a long way. To apply that, I have a brush from Real Techniques, and this is called the setting brush, appropriately enough. And it's dirty, don't judge it, it's all good. It's seen some shit lately. But you can see how small and precise it is. I've had this brush for ages. There is no splaying going on. I've washed it a million times. Like, I honestly think I've had this like at least 3 years, possibly more, but at least 3 years, and I use it every day. Any day that I apply makeup, at least 6 days out of the week, I use this brush, and it has held up. So this is the one that I would use. I can just sort of pat the powder on top of the concealer as such, and then go about my day. It's all good. Okay, cheek products. Blush can fade throughout the day, so I might want to top that up. What I've got for that is a cream blush because I don't need a brush to do it. I know I'm going to mix up my blushes and brushes at some point. I'll try not to. I don't need a brush to apply this blush. I feel like I'm in a Dr. Seuss book. Anyways, this one is from Incredible, and this one is in the shade My First Love. It's just a really nice pink, obviously, as you can see. Tiny bit goes a long way. Just have to like tap my finger into it, and then even if there is still some powder from like setting my foundation in the morning, it's not really going to like create an issue with this because you're not applying a ton of it. I'm not smearing it around. I can just bounce it into my skin like that, and it's good to go. And I like this color as well because it goes with everything. So it's not like I'm running the risk of my blush being way too much, in which I would then try to sort of blend it out with whatever's left over on my foundation brush or anything of that sort. This color is pretty low risk, and that's why I chose it. Also, highlighter fades throughout the day, so I also have a cream highlighter. This one is from Flesh, and it's in the shade Startle, again, mini sample size. But I really like this one, again, because it's a cream product, so I don't need to bring a brush for it. I can just either dab it on my skin, or I can run my finger over it and then blend it where I want it as well. And I can also put it into the inner corner if I want to brighten that area up too. And this one is not glittery or chunky or metallic or anything like that, but it really does add a very nice sheen. I'll just put some on my hand just so you can see what I'm talking about. There, you can see it catching the light there. So it just adds that like extra bit of life to your face without being like, here's my highlighter, and it blends out really nicely. Now, once again, whether or not I'm just sprucing up what I applied in the morning or if I've started from scratch, I would set it in place with the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day Setting Spray. There are a ton of scents to choose from. This one is peach, one of my favorites, although coconut, so good. But I have coconut in the full size, and I want to take the mini size so that it all fits in my bag and I'm not carrying 20 pounds of products with me. I really like this one because once it applies, your makeup is not budging. So if I do happen to be going to some sort of event where I'm going to be there for a few hours, I know that my makeup is going to hold up, or if it's summertime, anything like that, I'm not going to have like products like dripping and melting on my skin. This one's going to lock it into place. Two more products. So one is for my lips, and I'm going to go with the lip oil. So this one is from Bobbi Brown, and it is in the shade Love Letter. It's one of the crushed oil infused glosses. So it's kind of a hybrid of an oil and a gloss, but leans itself a little bit more towards the oil side of things. I don't have it on right now. This is, what is this? This is Staunch, I believe. Yes, Staunch from Anastasia Beverly Hills. That's just an aside. But this one, if I apply it over top, just adds a little bit of shine to it. On its own, it's sort of my lips but better. It deepens up the color of my lips a bit, but it's nothing too obvious. Really easy to touch up on the go. And it also, because it has that oil in it, kind of acts like a lip balm as well. So if my lips have gotten dry throughout the day, this just helps to make them feel that much better before I can get home and put some actual lip balm on. So that's why I've chose this one, because it's easy, no muss, no fuss, but it's also got these other elements to it where it is hydrating, it's very comfortable, and I don't have to worry about it like traveling around on my face, where if it was like a bright red lipstick or something like that, I would be much more self-conscious of it. And then last but not least is just a little tiny perfume sample just to freshen up. I typically don't carry perfume with me like in my purse or anything like that. I apply it in the morning, and then when it dissipates, and that's the end of it. But if I'm going out somewhere to a dinner or whatever the case may be, I'm going to want to do a little spritz and just top it up. So throw one of these in there. This one just happens to be from Chloe. It's Chloe Eau de Parfum. There's a few scents that I really like, but again, I don't want to carry a giant bottle with me. I just want the little tiny atomizer here. All right, and those are the 20 items that have made their way into my emergency makeup bag. Again, Hélène is going to be doing this one as well, and I'm really excited to see what she's put into her bag and how she presents them to us. So again, be sure to go and check out her video, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch mine. I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.